The Canadian Home Furnishings Alliance is pleased to present the 2015 Lifetime Achievement Award to Mr. Jim Sunderji, Chief Executive Officer of Dynasty Furniture Manufacturing. Mr. Sunderji exudes hard work, integrity, and the importance of positive relationships. With his immediate family at his side, Jim's support system now extends to his professional family of over 200 employees and counting. Jim was born in a small village in Tanzania, East Africa, located on Lake Victoria, the source of the River Nile, and on the border of the world-famous Serengeti National Park. After completing his primary education in this small village, he moved on to complete his high school in Moshi, Tanzania, on the foothills of Mount Kilimanjaro. His post-secondary education was in agriculture, specializing in range management at Egerton College in Kenya. Upon graduating in 1969, he returned back to Tanzania to work for the government. His first assignment was at a dairy farm research center in Tanga, Tanzania, on the coast of Indian Ocean. This is where he met his wife, Rosie. They got married in November 1970. In 1971, at the age of 23, Jim came to Canada on his own with the intent of Rosie joining in the very near future. Leaving the political turmoil in East Africa at the time, the Tanzanian-born young man planted new roots in Calgary. As a new Canadian, Jim worked as an insurance salesman for a short period. He then joined Southern Alberta Institute of Technology Polytechnic College, where he majored in electrical engineering, while at the same time working at Canadian Pacific Railway in Calgary. He worked and went to college, both full-time, and after graduating from SAIT, he worked for an electrical engineering company designing and building electrical control panels for oil pipelines. In May 1972, daughter Zara was born and soon to be followed by son Faisal in June 1973. It was then in 1975 that Jim and his brothers decided they would return to the family business they knew and loved in Africa, and started a bedding and mattress business by purchasing the therapeutic mattress franchise for Western Canada, the second in Canada at the time. Jim's father was an owner of a general merchandise store in Tanzania and manufactured and sold mattresses as a cottage industry. His brother Sam was operating Vono, a British mattress manufacturing franchise in Nairobi, Kenya. Jim remembers the challenges they experienced when initially starting up. Things were completely different than business in Africa at the time. A confident handshake was what it took to ensure the job would get done in Africa. Business in Canada demanded more, a demand the Sunderji brothers were ready to meet and exceed. Abiding by their father's principle, relationships were built, while quality product and service thereafter helped maintain and grow loyalties in the years ahead. Working hard and remaining steadfast to their business principles, the Sunderji brothers guided the company to profitability in just 3 years. Eventually, though, divergent interests in the furniture business led each of them to begin ventures of their own. Jim's vision led to the start of Dynasty Furniture. In modest surroundings in southeast Calgary's Foothills Industrial Park, Dynasty Furniture entered Western Canada's upholstered furniture market in 1979. Within its 10,000 square feet, 30 employees led by Jim and his wife Rosie produced mid-budget sofas, love seats, and chairs, a market in which Jim recognized a tremendous need. Just a few years after its startup, Dynasty progressed rapidly along the road to expansion. With its roots in Western Canada, the company branched eastward in 1984, opening a manufacturing facility in Mississauga, Ontario, to better serve its expanding customer base. In 1985, 1 year after Dynasty's successful launch into the central eastern Canadian market, the company moved its Calgary plant into a new 150,000 square foot facility. Today, Dynasty stands proud at a combined space of almost 400,000 square feet in its Calgary and Toronto manufacturing facilities. A proud Canadian company that currently employs over 200 team members. A combination of knowledge and expertise has enabled Dynasty to become one of the largest manufacturers of upholstered furniture in the country. In the words of Jim, when you look back at our history, a lot of factors have contributed to our success. But the most important factor in my mind is our people. Jim has always held his team members in high regard. Proud of his long-term employees and friendships, Jim values the loyalty and support of those around him. And that extends to his customers. Dynasty has had the good fortune to have national and international customers and has been honored to host customer trips to the Canadian Rockies. His true passion lies with his family. Zara and Faisal, along with their spouses, have brought true joy to Jim's life. With family close by, Rosie and Jim are proud grandparents to 7. The first grandchild had a children's upholstery collection created in her name. The business remains a family affair, with Faisal now at the forefront, leaving Jim to tend to other pressing matters. Jim's dedication to giving back is clear in his day-to-day life through his passion to help the global and local communities. Inspired by His Highness the Aga Khan and his philanthropic work, Jim supports Aga Khan Development Network in its activities in war-torn and developing countries of Africa, South and Central Asia. Jim has focused his efforts in early childhood development by partnering to build schools and to provide support to children, families, and teachers in education, healthcare, and in eliminating poverty in these areas. Recently, Jim and Rosie have traveled to South Asia to assist in upgrading the infrastructure, health, and hygiene of pre-primary schools for children from 3 to 6 years young. Locally, Dynasty Furniture supports children's hospital foundations, universities, sports teams, education, and other charitable organizations. And if that's not enough to keep him busy, Jim loves to travel and is also a devoted marathon runner, having completed half-marathon races throughout Canada, including Banff, Calgary, and Toronto. Together with his family, Jim has built a long-lasting dynasty that will continue for years to come. Congratulations to Jim Sunderji, well-deserved recipient of the Canadian Home Furnishings Alliance 2015 Lifetime Achievement Award.